When you try to take it personal like that, I don't have really much. I don't have any great humbling things to say. So he can take his back to St. Louis and watch the film because I don't play them games. If I see him in the street, I'm gonna bust him in the mouth.
You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines for our Week 7 recap show. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And I love that clip we played. That was Steve Smith talking about trash talking in the Rams-Panthers game. I think my favorite part of that, and Boyd, you found this, is just the reporter at the end going, thanks, Steve.
Yeah,
If I see him on the street, I'll bust him in his fucking mouth. Great find,
there's
Boyd.
only about three or four bleeps in that one, but I thought it was appropriate seeing that was the only game we won this week.
Yeah, what?
In our bets. And the Chicago Bears defense. Can somebody explain what the fuck is up when you're leading, you score a touchdown late, and you can't hold the Washington Redskins for one drive? Blitz, Julius Peppers, I don't know. There's no fucking defense.
Well, there's absolutely none, and don't try to tell me, and I know you wouldn't, that it's because Urlacher's gone. I mean, this has so much of the same personnel as last year's defense, which was fairly stout. How are they one of the worst defenses in the league now?
Like, when you score 41 points with your backup quarterback, essentially, how do you lose that game? Like, that would have gave us a profitable week.
Oh, yeah, right there. And, yeah, and the drive was just horrifying to watch. I mean, I just felt the inevitability of it. That somehow we weren't even going to get a tie and over to struggle a bit there. That, I swear that defense stopped Washington on maybe 2, perhaps 3 drives. Just horrific.
Well, I was watching Red Zone, and then the Titans game started before that one ended. So I didn't see the end of it, but we were on the phone together, and you were just like, I'm like, where are they at? Oh, midfield.
Yeah.
Looks like they're going for the it looks like they're going to score a touchdown. I'm like, great. Especially when Carolina finally came through for us. I was thinking, Jesus, a pick 'em. It's brutal.
Yeah, and Roy Halou, 3 touchdowns? Really?
Well, they should have been to Alfred Morris.
And that's just because Mike
just came
Shanahan
in
hates fantasy football.
Well, I don't mind fantasy football this week because I won. And I'd like to thank Lawrence for not starting Kelvin Johnson. Only had like close to 30 points.
Yeah,
and I won by 10. So,
and
thanks,
I would
Lawrence.
like to do the opposite, thanking you for trading Harry Douglas to my opponent late Saturday night.
Well, I didn't think it would go through by Sunday. I did it at 3 a.m.
No, well played. I don't think I would have won anyway because I'd started Cutler in that game, and his 0.4 points weren't going to do much for me. But this isn't a fantasy show.
No.
Of our 4 games, 2 of them were decided against us in the last minute of regulation play.
Yep. We're going back to last year's form.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the Baltimore game would have went to overtime had the Steelers not kicked the field goal, but still.
Well, and in that one, I wasn't even aware it happened. You told me. Baltimore tried the surprise onside kick.
Yeah, cost him a field goal.
Yeah, cost them a field goal, and this, when you've held the team to that stage, 13 points, or perhaps even 10 at that stage.
10? No, it was 13-10, I think, at that time. No, 13-9. 9? Well, how did they get to 16 each? Yeah, no, it would have been 13-10. 13-10 at that time.
No, it was 13-9 because Baltimore got the late touchdown. But
oh, right.
But your defense has been playing well all game. Why do you try this crazy move? As you said to me on the phone, you try the quick onside when your defense is in trouble. And you want that possession. Kick it deep. Let them try to march down the field.
Which they hadn't proven they could do consistently all game.
Or all year.
And they missed on a 4th and 1. Baltimore did, deep in Pittsburgh territory. It's just, that team is fucked. Well, the whole league. How do you figure this league out now, is what I'd like to know. Denver, well, if they don't turn the ball over, they probably win that game. I don't know if they would have covered, but they fumbled inside the 20 twice. And why was Noshawn Marino not carrying the ball? Ronnie Hillman has a tendency to fumble, yet he's in. Noshawn Marino carried the ball 14 times. It's not like he was tired.
Nope.
Is there a reason he's not in the game at that point? They put him in at the 1 for a touchdown. You can't put him in at the 6? What, were you trying to surprise him, make him decoy, thinking, oh, we might do a screen to Hillman because that's what they normally do with him?
Well, that's what I think
Maybe
it's
we'll get him thinking screen.
These coaches think that they are in control of it all. So it's all about, oh, they won't expect us to do this because we don't do this from this formation. Well, and there's a reason you don't do this from this formation. Why are there no coaches out now who trust on the execution of their players and just go out and do what you're going to do? You don't have to make it this fantasy chess game that the announcers all like to talk about. If you have better athletes and execute what you do well, you will win.
Well, isn't that what we've heard about Denver all year? Like, you got Manning, you got all these weapons. You've got 4 receivers. How are they going to cover all 4? And if you swing Hillman out as a decoy on a screen, you've taken another guy away from the end zone. I don't get it. I don't understand it. The Manning pick at where he got hit throwing it, they hit his arm.
Manning wasn't throwing the ball deep well at all. That ball was not getting there fast and was usually about 5 or 6 yards underthrown.
Well,
if you have an acceptable pass rush, play man-to-man so the guys have to beat on a fly deep and let him chuck it up. He certainly didn't look impressive. And when it started to work for him, he was working the under in the middle.
Well, and everybody wanting to anoint Denver as the Super Bowl champs already. I didn't buy it before. I still don't buy it. They're a good team. But
they certainly might be there, but...
No way in the cold are they putting up that kind of yardage. Manning has never done it in the cold. And everybody's expecting him to change at 38 in Denver. Like you said, anybody with the pass rush, they may not even have home field advantage. That may work to their advantage to not play in Denver.
Well,
if they lose a couple of games. Seriously.
Like, I still haven't bought into KC. But... they look like they're a good team to beat the Broncos the way they play.
Well, and their defense.
Exactly. Like,
Denver.
It's the pressure. I hadn't seen Manning get hit, and that was an aging Mathis, who was a hell of a player. But he just owned his side of the line. Like, they were double-teaming him with a tight end and the tackle, and it barely slowed him down. Mathis had a great fucking game. Well,
and that's where Kansas City's going to get him.
Oh
Like, I
yeah,
think
because they'll
Denver goes to
collapse it
Kansas City.
on the. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think KC has a pretty good blueprint to beat this Broncos team.
And I'm just pulling up the schedule now, but I think Denver goes to KC. Oh no, they go to
Week
Denver
9.
first.
Week 9 is their
No,
first
week 11.
matchup. No, the first
Week
matchup
11.
between them.
No, week 11. I'm looking at the schedule right now.
Really?
Week 11 and week 13. They play 2 weeks apart. And that'll be for the division pretty much.
Well, that's dumbass scheduling too.
Well, yeah, but no, they see they play the last game at San Diego. That's who they thought would be. That's usually how they play it. Who do you think if you look at the last game, it's always division game.
Oh, I don't mind that,
That's
but
who they
I mean,
think is-
divisions should play once in September and once in December. It doesn't seem to me to be too ridiculous, right? Because someone
No,
can take
that's
an
what I'm
early
saying.
lead and early dominance. All division teams, whole month of September, you should play the other 3 teams in your division, and then December, the second sesh. Makes for the most excitement.
I don't disagree, but they play 2 games in December. Play Oakland and San Diego in December. But they usually pick, if you look at the schedules, who they think are going to be the top 2 teams in the division, and they play the last weekend of the schedule. So the NFL thought San Diego was going to be higher up than Kansas City when they made the schedule.
Yeah, maybe, but I just don't think
That's how it
any
goes, 'cause
2 division rivals should play twice within 3 weeks. I think that's just terrible scheduling.
No, I do too. That's wrong. Because you could have somebody get hurt and could alter the whole scope of those 2 games and flip the division.
Plus,
But
I don't know. It just seems to me boring that, didn't we just see KC Denver 2 weeks ago? You know,
But you know what? In the way they are sit right now, those will be the 2 most watched games that weekend. That I know it doesn't always work out like that, and I agree with your point. This year, it's going to work in their favor.
and then they're going to try it more and more. How long before it turns into the fucking CFL and they schedule them back to back? Biggest fucking
never
joke.
know. Well, the NFL is all about player safety and mediocrity or parity. So
Yeah. Well, and
Maybe
that
they will
player
just-
safety is why when it's an illegal shift, they let them play to the end of the play on a play that
run an
can't
extra
possibly
play.
happen.
If the offense does anything good, it comes back.
Yeah.
So why run it? They blow it for a guy moving his hair blows in the wind and it's an illegal procedure and they blow it dead. You get an illegal shift, you let him run out there and get clocked. Quarterback takes an extra hit maybe, or what if
Well,
that
someone
cushion
takes an
play would've
extra hit?
happened
A
on
lot of
something like that?
Oh, I know. But again, I don't understand. If it's an illegal formation, an illegal shift, as soon as that ball's snapped, you're running in there screaming with whistles. It seems to me one of the simplest things to do to increase player safety.
Well, yeah, it's basically illegal motion.
Because
Or
the
false
play's
start.
not going to happen anyway.
No,
I mean,
unless the defense does something, gets a turnover or something like that.
yeah,
It's the only way the play stands.
Yeah,
And that would be their argument, right? That's their argument. Oh, well, if the defense may make a big play. Well, yeah, but you could get somebody killed.
yeah, and turnovers happen, 3 times a game, say, out of 150 snaps. So
Not for Tennessee.
because of a
Fucking penalty cock-sucking refs.
oh. Well,
Okay, and I'm
hey,
not
you
saying
did
Tennessee
your
would've won the game.
kick returner was cut as you
I called it.
strongly requested. Why don't I believe your quote yesterday? Why don't they just fucking cut him already? Just fucking cut him.
He's been brutal all year. Now,
Wait.
I'm not saying Tennessee would have won the game if that turnover stands, but it was 3-0 and a momentum turning play just happened. They call it back on hitting Kaepernick below the knees. And I'll have to give the announcers credit because they said, oh, and you can't hit him high either. So where the fuck are you supposed to hit him? When the cocksucker runs, if he takes a stride like he's running out of the pocket, that's a legal hit. Because he's standing still, it's fucking illegal. Because Tom Brady's knee fucking got shredded. It's an illegal fucking hit. Yet Jamal Charles can block a linebacker blitzing full speed. He can drop to his knees and plant his shoulder right on his fucking kneecap. Can somebody explain to me how that fucking works? Cushing's got a broken leg and an LCL tear. But that's legal. Charles won't get fined for that. I guarantee you fucking Akeem Myers from the Titans is getting fined for hitting Colin Kaepernick at the knees.
Yep.
Trying to sack him. Yet we lose our quarterback after a fucking two-step fucking full-speed hit to the chest for 2 weeks. And there's not even a fucking flag thrown on that play.
Yeah, and it was 2 steps. I mean, we've been through that. I mean, it's...
I know, I'm not saying this.
And then, you know, in the Pittsburgh-Baltimore game, a Baltimore player shoved Roethlisberger, like, 2-hand shove between the numbers in his back. And that was roughing the passer.
Well, did you see the Indy game? Luck in the end zone? The Vickerson, it used to
Oh,
play
yeah.
Chest bumped his back. Chest bumped him in the back.
I was texting Dave, who's a Broncos fan, and I just said, that was a soccer dive by Luck. That's no fucking penalty.
Yeah, like, 15 yards.
Yeah.
Why don't they just put a cone around him like a fucking dog wears so you can't get near him? Just put him in a little box. And only if he hits a button to lift the cage door up can he run. And you just got to touch the cage and he's considered a sack. Some fucking thing, because this fucking blowing my mind.
Yeah, it's...
And even on, who was it? Was it the Alex Smith game, the Chiefs game? Alex Smith is running for a first down. These quarterbacks can slide whenever the fuck they want. When they see the guy running to hit him, they drop to their ass. The guy jumps over top of him, trying not to hit him.
Yeah. No, I know the play.
Glances his helmet, and he gets a 15-yard penalty tagged onto the run.
Oh, I know.
Like, you can't have it both ways. He should have to give himself up a couple of yards before.
Well,
and then if you hit him... Oh...
This brings me to the Robert Griffin, who says he dances along the sideline until the guy tries to tackle him. Then he'll step out trying to draw the flag, but keeping the threat of him going upfield. Like, so the quarterbacks are aware of this. Don't tell me they're not. And you can't have it both ways. These rules they're trying to put them in to supposedly to protect literally you, but you're going to exploit them and then laugh about it.
If he was running down the sidelines and I was playing defense, I'd drive right at his fucking knees.
Oh, yeah. Every time.
You want to keep doing that? Keep juking down the sidelines, buddy. I don't care if I get 15. Until you stop doing it, I'm diving at your fucking knees every time.
My agreement as well.
We got fucked in the Kansas City game on a quarterback hit. We got fucked in the San Francisco game on a quarterback hit. It's brutal. Absolutely fucking brutal. And everybody else is getting just fucking destroyed when they go anywhere on the field. And the quarterbacks dance around like fucking ballerinas. And you can't even fucking breathe on them. Now, I'm not calling to go back to the 70s when they'd pick Bradshaw up and fucking pile drive him on top of his head. But you got to be able to play football. And if they're allowed to run like they are now, the defense doesn't have a chance.
No, they really don't.
You can't touch a receiver on a deep pass. You can't touch the quarterback. The only guy you can't hit a receiver over the middle. The only guy you can hit is a running back. And now the running backs can't even lower the fucking helmet when a guy's getting ready to hit him. But on a block,
to be honest, I haven't seen that called.
Oh, it's been called twice against the Titans.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And he got fined for one of them. 10-5 fine he got. Jackie Battle for lowering his helmet. Can't hit lead with the crown of the helmet. It's brutal.
Well, I think the ticket to success in the league is being owned by Kraft. Though he did get... The Patriots got nailed on what was supposedly the correct interpretation of the rule that cost the Chargers a game earlier in the year.
Wasn't this different, though? This was different.
This was supposed to be it's the same rule. And supposedly in the Jets game, it was enforced correctly.
But they were pushing from behind, right? Pushing on another player? He was pushing on his own teammate, is how I understood it.
Well, I thought he vaulted himself up, like the old one, where you can't use the guy in front as a launching pad.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the replay of it. But either way, it's a pretty ticky-tacky call in fucking overtime. When it had no effect on the play.
Hey, tell me about a ticky-tack call. I mean...
I know. You've got as much right to bitch as anybody. But it's driving me... The new NFL is driving me fucking bananas. I'm not the guy that wanted 45, 41 games, or I'd watch the fucking CFL.
Oh, exactly. No, and...
Now, the 23-7 game on Monday night tonight, that was just shitty football. I'm not for that either, but there's got to be a happy medium where the defense is allowed to do something. Fucking flags. That Titans game was started earlier than other games and fucking ended up finishing later.
By quite a bit.
Because of all the fucking penalties. It's driving me fucking bananas that there's no defense allowed in the league. They want basketball scores. That game Sunday night probably got fucking ratings out the ass.
Well, it was going to... No matter what the score of that game was.
Marlon, they want basketball. They want that score every game. And it's brutal. If you have a hard-nosed defense, you end up just being penalized for being aggressive. Now, like those Steeler games we used to watch against Baltimore that everybody loved, never happen again. Never fucking happen again. That game yesterday wasn't like... That was just shitty football, Pittsburgh-Baltimore yesterday.
I was just going to bring that up. I mean, just because the score looked similar, it wasn't what we used to watch. Not at all.
And I'm guessing our fade Pittsburgh is kind of on the shelf for maybe a little bit.
I don't know.
Or it's the two shitty team theory we bet on yesterday.
Could be. I mean, neither of us have felt confident in Baltimore. And it got down to a late drive. I'm not ready to shelve it yet. We'll have to see some numbers tomorrow. I mean, we've got to keep an open mind and, at some point, and then when we want a team to come back late, why do they never do it? But if we bet against
them... No, it's against us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
if
walk
Chicago
down the fucking field.
If Chicago would... Well, no, it works out. Our team comes back, but then there's always 3 minutes left on the clock.
Yeah. Oh, and that's really what fucked Baltimore, too. And this speaks to the broader league. Like, nobody can grind out a drive anymore. They're not able to keep the clock running, pick up first downs constantly. That's what screwed us in the New Orleans game.
Well, I'll tell you this, after watching San Francisco play yesterday, if they don't have to go to Seattle in the playoff, they're going back to the Super Bowl. They're the best team I've seen all year running the football. They ran it whenever they wanted. They don't run Kaepernick a lot, but when they do, it's fucking wide open. If they have to go back to that, they're smart this year not doing that all the time.
Well,
and not giving teams a chance to study it on tape so much. They just throw it in whenever. Like, they threw it in at, like, he may have run it 3 or 4 times yesterday. And big yardage every time.
Well, and they sandbagged that way in their late season run last year, too. Made it look like they were going to try to put Kaepernick into just a pocket passer role, and then Green Bay came to town, and they just took off the leash.
Yeah.
And Green Bay was completely unprepared for that.
Well,
and just talking about the hits, by the way, too, and I think we should just move on here.
Yep.
It doesn't seem to be protecting players much. This was carnage in the fucking NFL this weekend.
Yeah, who got,
Bradford
for an Achilles?
Bradford, Cutler, Cushing, Doug Martin.
It was, I'm trying to think who else got hurt. Well, the quarterbacks always get the ink for getting hurt.
Foles.
Yeah, concussion.
Jermichael Finley, and that one really scared me. I'm not a particularly big fan of him, but I mean, after his last concussion, he said his kid was saying, "Could you please quit football?" And I just felt terrible seeing that.
Well, it was. I still haven't seen the hit from the front, like the front camera angle facing how he got hit. Because from behind, it looked like the guy led with his shoulder, but I couldn't tell. Like from behind Rodgers, I haven't seen that angle on the Jermichael Finley hit. If he did lead with his helmet, because it looked like he lowered his shoulder when he went.
Well,
to hit
and
him.
I think he did. I mean, and this gets down to football's a dangerous game. I mean, these things are happening at such a speed where any normal human being would just curl up in the fetal position on the ground and play all ended soon.
But here's my question.
And they're expecting these people to make microsecond decisions, a moving target on a moving target, and somehow you're supposed to, not make this contact.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is like it looked to me like Finley lowered his head.
Well, and that's
I don't
what
know
I
if
think.
He was getting tackled a little bit or what was happening there, but it looked like he lowered his head a little bit.
Like I don't think this stuff was malicious. Really, like I could not see a case of somebody being injured by something that was egregious. It's just a dangerous, violent game, and you are paid accordingly.
Yeah. You're never going to get rid of injuries in football.
No. I mean, Reggie Wayne, that was... there was no one involved. Reggie Wayne's another one who's out for the season. Even
Bradford, it wasn't terrible.
I never saw what actually hurt him.
He just kind of caught a cleat. He got kind of shoved. He was running towards the sideline, got shoved a little bit, and as he tried to stop or slow down, his cleat looked to me like his cleat kind of caught and kind of twisted his knee. Okay. It was just a weird looking play. It wasn't like he got hit on the knee, or as far as I can remember. I only saw the replay once, but it wasn't like Charles on Cushing where he got like some guy dove at his knee.
Yeah, but I mean, strangely, it's Houston who does more of that style of blocking than anyone. And I really don't like, but I will say the fact that he texted Charles saying, "No bad."
Yeah, nothing but respect for how you play.
Yeah. Actually, my estimation of him went up wildly after that text.
Well, he might have been high on painkillers too, but little oxy or something.
Yeah, possibly. But
no, I just
maybe he's grateful for it. Yeah. They gave him the morphine at the hospital, and then he went and cooked up some of his own Jersey OxyContin.
Oh, so that about wraps up the week. But what else did you have?
I was just gonna say, bad week for Texas football legends.
It was a really bad week. Well, I was reading Twitter this morning when I got to work, And the Tennessee beat reporter tweeted out that unconfirmed reports that Bud Adams passed away. And as I scrolled through, about half an hour later on the timeline, it confirmed that Bud Adams passed away. And on Friday, probably my favorite coach in Titans Oilers history, Bum Phillips, passed away. Most people now would probably only know his son, Wade, defensive coordinator in Houston. Bum Phillips was a character back when coaches had personality. Wore a cowboy hat on the sidelines and a suit. Never wore the cowboy hat indoors because he was taught by his parents that it was impolite to wear your hat indoors. So he never wore it in home games in the Astrodome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so he was a character and not a Jerry Glanville type of clown type character, just good storyteller, just how coaches used to be when you didn't have to worry about the media sticking a knife in your back. So
NFL did a great documentary on the rise of the AFL. And there's some good stuff with Bum Phillips in there as well. So I feel bad for Wade.
Yeah, he lost 2 AFC championship games with Houston. They lost to the Steelers both times. They fired him after the second one and went into the shit house after that. And didn't come out of it till Warren Moon went down from the CFL. So why it almost is to me how the Chargers fired Turner after he goes 14-2 but didn't win the Super Bowl. Like have a
not
coach.
Turver,
Schottenheimer, sorry.
Brought in Narf.
Yeah, but why you fire a coach after a year like that? I don't know what you're expecting. Pittsburgh was a fucking dynasty. They had like 8 or 9 Hall of Famers on that team. Like losing to them twice wasn't horrible. Oakland lost a lot to Pittsburgh back then. They didn't fire Madden. So, I don't know. It was sad. Like I just shouldn't say I was sad, but it brought back some memories for me that I hadn't thought about in a long time. So it was kind of cool. And I've even like during the Denver game last night, they're showing like the old Oilers jersey. I still miss them. I still miss the team colors. The Oilers design, the helmet logo. I loved
that soft blue and white. Yeah, with the oil derrick.
Yeah, I miss that a lot. I still have a bunch of stuff. Well, they came out with the throwback stuff. I bought a bunch of hats and shit like that with the old Oilers logo on it. But when you're a fan, I'm a believer. When you're a fan of a team, you're with the team forever. So I've been the fan of the same team since I was like a tot, like 6, 7 years old. I've got my Earl Campbell rookie cards. I'm looking at it right now on my shelf. That's what made me an Oiler fan.
Good choice.
So seeing Bud Adams and Bum Phillips, and I give Bud Adams credit. He tried to win. Always stated his goal as Super Bowl. Kept trying. They spent money this year. I don't necessarily agree with where they spent it, but he was still trying to win. Which, when you look at Buffalo and their old owner, Ralph Wilson, you'd wonder what the hell they're doing there. The Titans always tried to win, and he was one of the most loyal owners in football. When you look at Munchak has been with no other organization than Houston/Tennessee in 30 years in the NFL. They've got Bruce Matthews, the O-line coach. Like, he's loyal to a fault almost. Even with Jeff Fisher, I thought he was loyal too long. But I don't know what, it scares me now when you have somebody come, it's his son-in-law is going to take over the team. You never know.
Okay, I was wondering if you knew that, because I didn't really know what the succession plan was. I mean, there had to be something in place. And I feel the sadness, and I'm particularly like you about Bum Phillips, but one thing that tempers it, they were both over 90.
Yes, it was not in the prime of they had good lives. So, and I felt sorry for Wade Phillips because he tweeted out, great dad, coach, and Christian on Friday when the news was released that his father passed away.
No.
And what struck me was that he put dad first.
Oh. Yeah.
Which means that was touching to me. Because everybody looks at him as a coach, and Wade put him as a father first, which is how it should be. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool and said a lot about the man. When the kids are talking like that, I know it's easy to be sentimental when someone passes away and only look at the good. But around football, he was well respected, both of them. Like the NFL put out statements, other team owners put out statements about Bud Adams today. And the NFL did the same thing with Bum Phillips. All over the league, people were saying nice things about him. I don't know. It was a big part of Titan Oiler history. Is gone. Like Adams is the only owner the team has ever had. He brought him into the AFL.
Yeah.
And he was instrumental.
They were both characters, man.
Well, and Bud Adams was instrumental in the merger.
Oh, very much so.
Lamar Hunt gets all the glory for that, but Bud Adams was just as big a part of it as far as I remember, and from what I've read.
From what I know too, and he was also the guy, he was instrumental in fucking over Al Davis. In that period. That. Oh, exactly. I admire that. That's a huge positive. But all right.
Yeah. So a little sadness, and I just want to give a little personal shout out. My sister Jackie's a very loyal listener, and she's going through some tough personal issues, loss in the family today. And my niece Sheena, I just hope you guys are doing okay, and we're thinking about you. I just wanted to throw that in.
Absolutely.
All right. So if you want to check out the podcast, you can search iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device. You can listen to it at offensivelines.ca, our website. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to the website, any new posts or podcasts. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon. And we'll be back tomorrow to try to pick again.
Fuck you, Colin Kaepernick!
Oh, tagline. Where's the tagline? No tagline.
Now.
Degenerate fucking gambler.